Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures in everyday pocket change and explore the fascinating world of rare United States coins. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and collectible coins in American history, the Washington Quarter. At first glance, it may look like just an ordinary 25-cent piece, but some of these quarters hold secrets that can transform them into treasures worth far more than their face value. Stay tuned, because in this video we'll reveal the surprising details, errors, and hidden value behind the Washington Quarter coin that every collector needs to know. Top 1. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the United States Washington Quarter from the year 1974. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter you could pull from your pocket, but hidden among these coins are rare examples that have captured the attention of serious collectors and investors around the world. And the value of some of these rare finds will absolutely surprise you. The Washington Quarter first entered circulation in 1932, designed by John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the years, it became one of the most widely recognized coins in America, with millions being produced each year. By 1974, the Washington Quarter had been in circulation for more than 4 decades and had firmly established itself as a symbol of everyday American life. But as collectors know, not all coins are created equal, and that is especially true for the quarters from this year. In 1974, quarters were minted at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins bear no mint mark, Denver coins carry the familiar D, and San Francisco coins include the S mint mark, often as proof coins for collectors. While most of these coins were produced in massive quantities, making them common, the beauty of coin collecting lies in the rare exceptions, the mistakes, the errors, and the perfectly preserved examples that have somehow survived the passage of time. The design itself is iconic. On the obverse, we see George Washington's proud portrait, with the word Liberty above and the motto "In God We Trust" beside his face. On the reverse, the American bald eagle spreads its wings while perched on arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing both strength and peace. Millions of people handled these designs every day in the 1970s, often without giving them a second thought. But collectors today know that within this ocean of ordinary coins, a handful stand out as extraordinary. So what makes the 1974 Washington Quarter valuable? The answer lies in errors and condition. During the minting process, errors sometimes occur that create unique variations. Double-die obverse coins are especially popular, where the date or letters appear double due to a misalignment in the striking process. These double details are visible under magnification and instantly transform the coin into a rare variety. Off-center strikes are another error that collectors chase, where part of the design is missing or shifted off to the side, leaving a blank crescent of metal. There are also clipped planchets, coins missing small curved sections where the metal blank was improperly cut. Each of these mistakes was never meant to exist, making them scarce and highly collectible today, but rarity isn't only about errors. Condition is just as important, if not more. Think about how many quarters from 1974 were used for decades in parking meters, vending machines, and grocery stores. Most were worn down, scratched, and lost their shine. But once in a while, a coin escapes circulation entirely. These uncirculated examples, with their sharp details and brilliant luster, are breathtaking. Collectors know that coins in pristine condition, especially those graded by professional services at the highest levels, can command enormous premiums. Now imagine a coin that combines both factors, a rare error paired with uncirculated condition. That's the dream scenario for coin collectors. These coins tell a story of history, of minting mistakes that slipped past inspectors, and of decades of survival without the wear and tear of circulation. They are treasures that bring excitement not only because of their value but also because of the uniqueness of their journey. To coin enthusiasts, owning a coin like this isn't just about money. It's about holding history in your hands. The 1974 Washington Quarter captures a snapshot of mid-70s America, a time of cultural change, economic challenges, and national pride. For collectors, every detail matters: the strike, the shine, the errors, the mint mark, the grade. And when all of these factors align in just the right way, the value can be absolutely staggering. So how much are we talking about? While the vast majority of 1974 Washington quarters are worth only their face value of 25 cents, the rarest examples, those with extraordinary mint errors or flawless uncirculated grades, have shocked the coin collecting world. At auction, one of these rare treasures has reached the unbelievable value of $54,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $54,000 for a single Washington quarter from 1970-4. So the next time you find change in your pocket or sort through an old coin jar, don't dismiss that ordinary-looking quarter too quickly. Take a closer look, study the details, check for errors, and consider the condition. That one coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 2. We are diving into the deep world of American coins today, exploring a small piece of change that could turn into a life-changing treasure. Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, the place where coin lovers and treasure seekers come together to uncover the hidden value inside the coins we often overlook. In this video, we are focusing on the United States Washington quarter from the year 1979. At first glance, it might seem like just another everyday coin worth 25 cents, but for collectors, some of these quarters hold secrets that can transform them into rare and extraordinary finds worth thousands of dollars. The Washington quarter has been an essential part of American currency since 1932, when it was first introduced to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. By 1979, it had already become an American classic, produced in massive numbers by the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, Denver coins show the letter D, and San Francisco coins have the letter S, often struck as proof coins with mirror-like surfaces for collectors. Millions were minted that year, but as with all coins, the true story lies in the details that most people overlook. The design itself is timeless. On the obverse side, George Washington's portrait faces left, framed by the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the year 1979 below. On the reverse side, the bald eagle spreads its wings proudly, standing on arrows with olive branches beneath, a perfect balance of strength and peace. While the design may look ordinary, collectors know to search closely, because hidden among the millions are quarters that carry minting errors or have survived in perfect condition, making them incredibly valuable. So, what makes a 1979 quarter stand out? The answer comes in two parts: rarity through errors and rarity through condition. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong at the U.S. Mint during production, and instead of being destroyed, those coins accidentally enter circulation. Some of the most fascinating errors from this year include double-die obverse coins, where the date or lettering looks doubled, almost like a shadow effect. Another type is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing because the coin was not struck properly, leaving blank space on one side. There are also broad strikes, coins that expand beyond their normal border because they weren't held correctly during minting. And let's not forget clipped planchets, coins with small curved pieces missing due to mistakes when cutting the blanks. Each of these error coins is like a fingerprint, unique, rare, and highly sought after by collectors. Condition is the other key factor. Most 1979 quarters have lived long lives, passed through thousands of hands, scratched in pockets, and dulled by time. But every now and then, a coin manages to survive untouched. These uncirculated coins shine with their original mint luster, showing every detail of Washington's portrait and the eagle's feathers with crystal clarity. When a coin is preserved in this way and graded at high levels like mint state 65 or higher, its value can rise dramatically. Now imagine combining that pristine condition with a dramatic mint error. That is the recipe for a truly rare and valuable coin. Collectors love these coins not only for their monetary value but also for their story. Each coin carries a piece of America's history. The 1979 Washington quarter is a reflection of the late 70s, a time of economic shifts, cultural change, and innovation at the U.S. Mint. Holding one of these rare examples is like holding a piece of that era, frozen in time, and preserved against all odds. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's about history, art, rarity, and sometimes, life-changing discoveries. So, how valuable can a 1979 Washington quarter really be? Most of them, as you'd expect, are only worth their face value of 25 cents. But rare coins with the right combination of error and condition have stunned collectors at auctions and private sales. One particular example of this coin has been valued at an incredible $54,000, yes, you heard that right, $54,000 for a single Washington quarter from 1970-9. So the next time you see a quarter lying in your pocket, don't ignore it. Take a moment, look closely at the date, inspect the mint mark, and check the details. Who knows, you might be holding a rare treasure that could change your life. Top 3. We are diving into the deep world of American coins today, and our spotlight is on the United States Washington quarter from the year 1981. At first glance, this coin looks like nothing more than an ordinary 25-cent piece, the kind of change you'd toss into a vending machine or drop in a jar without thinking twice. But hidden among the millions of quarters struck that year are rare treasures that collectors dream about, coins with stories, mistakes, and conditions so exceptional that their value soars into the thousands. And yes, one rare example of this coin has been valued at a life-changing amount that I'll reveal later in this video. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, it quickly became a permanent part of American coinage and has remained so ever since. By 1981, this coin had been circulating for nearly 50 years and was as familiar to Americans as the dollar bill. Quarters from this year were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, which produced coins without a mint mark, Denver, which used the letter D, and San Francisco, which struck coins with the S mint mark, many of which were beautiful proof coins made specifically for collectors. With so many produced, it's easy to assume that every 1981 quarter is common, but collectors know better. The real magic is in the details. Take a closer look at the design. On the obverse, we see the dignified profile of George Washington, a portrait that has stood the test of time. Above him rests the word Liberty, to the side the motto "In God We Trust," and beneath his portrait the date, 1981. On the reverse, the proud bald eagle spreads its wings wide, perched on arrows with olive branches beneath, a perfect symbol of America's balance between strength and peace. This design was seen daily by millions of people, but to coin lovers, it is not just an image. It's art, history, and sometimes a window into the rarest minting errors imaginable. Errors are what transform ordinary coins into legendary ones. In 1981, as in other years, a handful of Washington quarters left the mint with mistakes. Double die errors, where parts of the lettering or the date appear doubled, are highly collectible. Off-center strikes are another favorite, where part of the design is missing, leaving an unusual blank space that immediately catches the eye. There are broad strikes, where the design stretches unnaturally because the coin wasn't properly secured during minting, and clipped planchets, where a section of the coin is missing due to a mistake in cutting the blanks. These error coins are accidental masterpieces, and because they are rare by nature, they become some of the most sought-after prizes in the world of numismatics. But rarity is not only about errors. Condition matters just as much, if not more. Imagine how many quarters from 1981 have been worn down by decades of use. They've passed through countless hands, dropped into machines, scraped against other coins, and lost their shine. Finding one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition is like finding a time capsule. These coins still have their original luster, their surfaces are clean, and every line of Washington's portrait and every feather on the eagle stands out in sharp detail. Collectors and grading companies evaluate coins on a scale, and when a 1981 quarter earns a mint state grade of 65 or higher, it instantly becomes more valuable. Combine that with a dramatic mint error, and you have a coin that can command jaw-dropping prices at auction. What makes this even more exciting is the human side of collecting. For many coin lovers, it's not just about the money. It's about the thrill of discovery. Imagine picking up a handful of change at the grocery store and realizing one of those coins is worth thousands. That's the magic that keeps collectors searching year after year. Every coin is a little piece of history, a tangible connection to the past. The 1981 Washington quarter is not just metal, it is a story from the early 80s, a time when America was going through cultural shifts, economic challenges, and change at the highest levels of government. Each rare example is like a piece of that era, preserved and waiting to be appreciated. Now, let's talk about the excitement at auctions. Rare Washington quarters from this year have drawn intense bidding wars, with collectors competing to own a one-of-a-kind piece. Proof coins from San Francisco with deep cameo finishes, Denver coins with unusual errors, or Philadelphia coins preserved in flawless condition, these are the treasures that ignite passion and drive up prices. For collectors, the moment when the auctioneer's gavel falls and a quarter sells for thousands of dollars is unforgettable. So, how valuable can the 1981 Washington quarter really be? While most examples are only worth their face value of 25 cents, certain rare coins with dramatic errors or flawless preservation have stunned the collecting world. One of these rare coins has been valued at an astonishing $54,000, yes, you heard that right, $54,000 for a single Washington quarter from 1981. That is the magic of coin collecting, the possibility that an ordinary-looking piece of change could be worth a small fortune. So, the next time you come across a quarter, don't dismiss it. Look closely at the details, check for errors, and see if the condition shines brighter than the rest. Because you never know, the coin in your hand could be your hidden treasure. Top 4. We are diving into the deep world of American coins again, and today we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and surprising treasures of modern numismatics, the United States Washington quarter from the year 1982. At first glance, it looks like just another quarter, the kind of coin you might have in your pocket right now. But if you're a true collector, you already know that appearances can be deceiving. Some of these 1982 quarters carry secrets that make them incredibly rare and valuable, with one example reaching a price so high it shocks even experienced coin hunters. The Washington quarter has been a part of American history since 1932, when it was first struck to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by John Flanagan, it quickly became one of the most familiar and trusted coins in circulation. By the year 1982, the Washington quarter had already been in use for 50 years, and millions were being minted every year at Philadelphia and Denver. But here's something fascinating about 1982, it was a transition year at the U.S. Mint. Unlike many previous years, the Mint did not produce official mint sets for collectors in 1982. This means that high-quality, uncirculated examples of quarters from that year are much harder to find than usual, instantly making them more desirable in the collecting community. Now let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of George Washington stands proud, with the word Liberty above, the motto "In God We Trust" to the side, and the date 1982 below his neck. On the reverse, the bald eagle spreads its wings, perched on arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing America's strength and peace. Millions of Americans saw this design daily, but what they didn't see were the tiny details that can make some of these coins worth far more than pocket change. Minting errors are one of the main reasons a coin from this year can be worth a fortune. Double die obverse coins, where parts of the design like the date or lettering appear doubled, are extremely collectible. Off-center strikes are another favorite among collectors, where the design is shifted to one side and part of the coin is left blank. Then there are broad strikes, where the coin looks stretched because it wasn't properly contained during minting. Clipped planchets, coins missing small curved sections due to mistakes when cutting blanks, are also highly prized. Each of these minting errors turns an ordinary 1982 quarter into a unique, one-of-a-kind treasure. Condition is equally important. Most 1982 quarters went straight into circulation, bouncing from cash registers to vending machines, and after decades of use, they are scratched, worn, and dull. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is far more difficult than in many other years, precisely because no mint sets were released to preserve them. That makes high-grade examples from 1982 especially valuable to collectors. When a coin from this year is graded at the highest levels, mint state 65 or higher, its value multiplies significantly. Combine that perfect condition with a rare minting error, and suddenly, you have a coin that could shock the collecting world. But collecting is not just about the money. For coin lovers, it's about history, art, and the thrill of the hunt. The 1982 Washington Quarter is a snapshot of America in the early 80s, a time of economic shifts, cultural change, and innovation. Holding one of these rare quarters in your hand is like holding a piece of that history, preserved for decades against the odds. And when collectors find one, it feels like uncovering a hidden treasure that connects them directly to the past. Over the years, rare examples of the 1982 quarter have surfaced in auctions and private sales, sparking excitement among collectors everywhere. Proof-like examples, error coins, and high-grade survivors have all commanded impressive prices. And in one remarkable case, a 1982 Washington quarter has been valued at an incredible $54,000. Yes, you heard that right, $54,000 for a single Washington quarter from 1982. That is the magic of coin collecting. Something so small and ordinary, something most people would never look at twice, could actually be worth a fortune. So the next time you come across a handful of change, don't ignore the quarters. Look closely, study the details, and remember that hidden treasures are out there, waiting to be discovered. Top 5. We are diving into the deep and fascinating world of American coins once again, and today our focus is on a coin that might be sitting in your change jar right now, a coin that has surprised collectors around the world with its hidden value, the United States Washington quarter from the year 1983. At first glance, it looks like just another 25-cent piece, one of millions produced by the U.S. Mint. But what many people don't realize is that this coin, under the right circumstances, can be worth an astonishing amount of money. And as you listen closely, you'll discover why coin lovers, treasure hunters, and collectors consider the 1983 quarter a true gem in the world of numismatics. Let's begin with the history. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, it has carried the face of America's first president for generations. By 1983, this coin had already been a fixture in American pockets for over 50 years. It was struck at both the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which used the letter D. Together, they produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year. But here's where the story takes an exciting turn. Unlike most years, 1983 did not see the production of traditional U.S. mint sets. That single decision means finding pristine examples of this coin is far more difficult, and collectors know that rarity in uncirculated condition adds incredible value. Now, take a moment to picture the design. On the obverse side is the bold portrait of George Washington, framed by the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 1983. On the reverse, the fierce American bald eagle spreads its wings proudly, perched on arrows of strength and surrounded by olive branches representing peace. It's a design familiar to millions, but here's the truth: some of these coins are not like the others. Hidden within the mass of ordinary quarters are rare errors and special variants that command extraordinary prices. What kinds of errors make the 1983 Washington quarter so special? Collectors have identified several. Double die errors are among the most desirable, where parts of the lettering, numbers, or even Washington's profile appear doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process. Off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted and leaves part of the coin blank, also attract serious attention. There are broad strikes, where the coin is struck outside the collar and spreads wider than normal, and clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing because of a mistake in preparing the metal blanks. Each of these errors is like a fingerprint, completely unique, impossible to replicate, and highly desirable to collectors. Condition plays an equally critical role in determining value. The truth is, most 1983 quarters went straight into circulation. They passed from one hand to another, through vending machines, cash registers, and pockets, collecting scratches, wear, and loss of detail. Because there were no official mint sets that year, high-grade, untouched examples are scarce. Finding one with its full luster, sharp details, and no visible wear is a challenge. And when professional grading services award a grade of mint state 65 or higher, the coin's desirability skyrockets. Now imagine a coin in such flawless condition that also carries one of the rare minting errors. That's when the price leaves collectors speechless. For many enthusiasts, the 1983 Washington quarter is more than metal. It represents a moment in history, a year in which America faced economic shifts, cultural change, and the challenges of a new decade. To hold one of these coins in your hand is to hold a piece of that past, a tangible connection to the everyday life of the early 1980s. That's the magic of coin collecting. What seems ordinary can reveal itself as extraordinary. Over the years, these coins have turned up in surprising places. Some were discovered in old collections, others found tucked away in change jars or passed down from relatives who never realized what they had. Auction houses have seen jaw-dropping results when pristine examples or dramatic error coins were put on the block. And those who understand the importance of 1983 know exactly why this coin continues to capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. Now comes the part you've been waiting for. While most quarters are worth just 25 cents, the rarest 1983 Washington quarters, in immaculate condition or featuring exceptional minting errors, have achieved staggering valuations. In fact, one example has been valued at an incredible $54,000. Yes, you heard that right, $54,000 for a single Washington quarter from 1983. That is the thrill of coin collecting. A coin that looks completely ordinary to most people could actually be a hidden treasure, sitting unnoticed in a drawer or resting in your pocket. It's this possibility, this mystery, that excites collectors and keeps the hunt alive. And it's why you should never overlook a coin simply because it seems common. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight. Thank you for joining us on this exciting journey into the world of coins. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to Coins Hunter USA, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another adventure into rare and valuable coins. Keep searching, keep learning, and remember, the next valuable coin could be closer than you think.